Westplex 107.1. I really like that version much better than the original version. That's the duet with, and they were never in the studio at the same time. I always find that amazing. Duet with Taylor Swift and Shawn Mendes. Do you like that one, Shelley?
I actually do. It's lovely.
Oh, you know what? That's the highest compliment Shelley can give something. If she says, "Oh, it's lovely."
That is my word, and it means something to me. When I say it's lovely, I mean it literally touches my heart.
Shelley was over on the east side recently and went by one of the landfills, and and she called me. She says, "Hey, I just went by the landfill over here in East St. Louis. Oh, it's lovely."
I didn't say that. Stop it.
You did. Oh, well, here we go. Here we go. We are going to try to make the best of a crazy situation. Weather out there, if you're not hit the roads already, foggy. Once again, yesterday was a depressing weather day, don't you think? It rained through most of the day, and if it didn't rain, it drizzled. You know what I mean? It's one of those days that it's just like...
Yes, I do know.
All day long. Okay. Can you ever drive and not have the windshield wipers on? Today, fog this morning, rain once again, almost like yesterday. Rain in the 7 o'clock hour and pretty much going all the way through, let's see. All the way through till this evening. Then tomorrow, guess what?
Yeah, but it's going to be 71.
Yeah, but still. I mean, I know it's 55 right now, which is not bad. But still, rain, come on, And it's just dreary, man.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. I, however, have to worry about looking like a drowned wet puppy all day.
What do you think? You think, it's because I use my trash bag. My trash bag and my hard hat.
You do not use your trash bag.
I beg to differ with you. That's my rain gear. I have it in my car. I have a couple of those big 55.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
I have a couple of those big 55-gallon trash bags that I put in my car.
Yes, I know. That's Brad's way of being able to enjoy the fair.
Well, no, it's just like my rain gear. If something would happen, I have to go to one of the transmitter sites, or if something happened, if I had to do something outside, like an emergency, I take my trash bag out of my car. I poke a hole in the bottom of it for my head. I put that over my head, and then I put my hard hat on. I have one of those big, wide brim hard hats, and it's very, very. And
And of course, you put your illuminated, reflective jacket on.
No, I don't do that over
vest.
No, I don't do that over my trash bag. And I have my boots on, and I'm pretty waterproof, I mean, and what's so funny about it is I've had people make fun of me about that. I've been places where I put my hard hat on.
No, people making fun of you?
Well, yeah. And, what the hell are you dressed as? And I'm going like, hey, I'm outside and I'm dry, Whereas if your weather, especially like this time of the year, people are still wearing jackets, A lot of people wear cloth jackets. Doesn't do real well in the rain. You know what I mean? When you get out there with like a cloth jacket, if you have like a leather jacket, obviously that doesn't do any good for the leather, but it's fairly weatherproof. But, I don't get it. Hey, are we going to talk? What are we going to talk about today? I'm a blank slate today. I've nothing on this booty this morning. So,
yes, I know, because I've been checking it hourly.
I've fallen down on my. People are going like, "What's he talking about? This booty?" It's a long story. It takes an explanation.
It's a very long story. You all don't want to know.
Which you don't want to know about. Lots of stuff. What now? Officially, is officially the restaurant ban? Is that in effect right now?
Midnight tonight.
Midnight tonight. So you can't go inside and eat at a restaurant anymore.
No, you cannot. But you can get it curbside and you can get gift cards. So what I did yesterday was I went around to several local businesses within the Westplex and did Facebook Lives with them so they could tell what their specials were, how they're going to be addressing it in the weeks or months forward until this these uncharted waters subside.
Yeah, and I did my thing yesterday where and don't ask me why I do this. I just do this just to sort of see what the heck's going on. I hit a Schnucks, I hit a Deerberg's yesterday, And I have to tell you, it didn't seem as bad as far as the lack of stock yesterday as it has earlier in the week. Although still, when you go down
That's because they've shifted and they've pulled them all, and they've got stock. They're stocked all night.
Well, but what I'm saying is, if you still go down the aisle with the toilet paper, or where the toilet paper used to be, there's still no toilet paper, which I'm still trying to figure that one out.
There is in the morning time because they get shipments every day. But what's happening is, I know it's Deerburgers, it could be Schnucks as well. But what they're doing is their shelves are stocked by the time the store opens up. But the seniors are people that are immune compromised. They go there and everything is gone. So they're asking people to set aside, I think it's 6 to 7.
Wait, hold on a minute. You say the seniors. See, first off, I'll be honest with you. I think that's ridiculous.
So anyway, I think it's lovely because they are trying to take care of the best they can, seniors and those that are immune compromised. All they're asking for is an hour so that people in that capacity can come.
Do you really?
Do their shopping.
The hour's right now, isn't it 6 to 7? What the deal is? Like right now, isn't it? This is the hour.
I think it is. Yes.
Okay. Do you really think there's people going like, well, it's 6:20 and I'm 25 years old. I can't go to the store right now. Do you really think there's people that are thinking that?
No, there's people that are thinking I better get there early to see if there's going to be toilet paper on the shelves. Well, that's what they're thinking.
But what I'm saying is people aren't paying attention to that. Well, I can't go to the store because the seniors right now.
You know what? During this crisis, across the globe, across this nation, we are going to see the best of humanity and the worst of humanity.
Well, I just think...
Because that's what happens in times of peril.
Okay. I just think it's one of those stupid things. Okay, the smartest woman in the world says, I believe you're turned away.
I don't understand that.
If you were 25 and you go to the store right now, she says they turn you away. But how do you know?
Okay.
I mean, they look at it like your ID. Sorry, you look like you're under 60, so therefore, I just think it's stupid. Because first off, what retired person gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning anyway?
A lot of them.
No. There's this commercial. I go on record saying, I really have a problem with retirement. I know you do, but there are people that are retired. I get it,
and have never gotten up. That have never gotten out of the habit of getting up at 6 o'clock, unless they turn nocturnal, like my husband.
Well, then there are people who are retired who just don't give a rip. I mean, they and I guess it bothers me that I've had people tell me, well, I'm retired. I deserve some respect and I deserve special privileges. And I've said this before. You got like the people, the various restaurants, they have the senior citizens discount. No, it should be the junior citizens discount because when you're retired, you usually got money. When you're young and raising a family, you're broke. So why would you reward the people with lower prices who have money when the younger people who don't have money are paying full fare?
And that is completely contradictory to what you said the other day.
What did I say?
When you said that the rich people or the people with means, they shouldn't be, what's the word that you used? What did I say? Not abused. They shouldn't be overlooked for their success.
No, I'm saying that you get...
What you just said was contradictory to that.
No, I did not. There are exceptions to the rules. Obviously, they're the...
Okay.
No.
The
they're the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world who are young and have tons of money, but the majority of people who have money are up there in years. The Warren Buffetts, the Bill Gates, who's the Paul Allen guy. I think he passed away, didn't he?
There's a lot of senior citizens that don't have that.
That
do not have those means.
Okay, here's the smartest woman in the world. Old people get up very early because they don't sleep long periods. Ability to nap all day. You are so full of, BS in the AM. But you can't. Here once again.
You're so cute.
Here once again. She's making broad, sweeping generalizations because of the fact it's not necessarily true. Old people get up early because they don't sleep long periods. I got news for you. I'm an old guy. I could, there are times I could go to bed. I could sleep for 20 hours. I really could.
That's because you're out there every single day from the time you get up until the time you go to bed, which is usually what? What time do you usually go to bed? 11?
At what time usually? It depends.
See, I have a bedtime. I go to bed between 8 and 9.
See, I have a problem in my life.
But I'm also up at 3, so.
I have a problem in my life is that I can sleep. And I should tell the story again about my mom, who used to always, she'd always worry about me. Oh, you're such a heavy sleeper. When I was like a young buck and moved into my apartment at like 19 or whatever I was, and she was like, there was probably not a week that didn't go by that she didn't say this to me. I'm so worried about you living in that apartment. I know there's people in those other apartments around you that smoke, and one of those nights they're going to fall asleep with a cigarette in their mouth, and their bed's going to catch fire, and your whole building's going to burn down, and you're just going to die because of the fact that you just sleep right through it. And then her and I were in a hotel fire in Rochester, Minnesota. And who's the one that got up because he smelled smoke? And who's the one I could not, wake up? My mother. And I would always throw that back. Mom, remember, hotel fire, Rochester, Minnesota. I woke up. I'm the one who woke you up. I had a tough time getting you awake. Oh, well, that was different. I was tired. Okay, whatever.
Different set of circumstances.
Yeah, well, I have that.
Now, how does that work for you?
How's what work for me?
A different set of circumstances.
I just, here's what bothers me. I don't like everybody being put into groups. I really don't. And it's to the point where we've talked about this.
It just might, the whole world is experiencing something that will never be able to go back to the normal that we had. I
get what you're saying, but let's move out of the coronavirus thing for a minute, okay? You get things like, well, if you're young, you do this. I know young people who are like sit on their butts and don't do anything. I know young people that aren't going out to bars, never have, that they don't go to concerts, they don't go to sporting events. All they do is sit around the house and play video games and stuff like that. Then on the other side, I know the same young people, who are like active, and once again, it's to the point where you get these people, especially the people who are talking about, police issues. Well, they're profiling. Hey, guess what? Welcome to the world. You get profiled every day by, where you live, what your zip code is.
The way you dress.
Right. Where you dress, what you dress.
How your teeth are.
Right. She's obsessed with the Post Malone deal.
What kind of? I'm just. That's a statement.
What kind of car you drive?
That's what you get judged on.
What kind of car you drive?
Tell me, if you saw somebody with a rotten set of teeth, you wouldn't cast a judgment on them?
No, because I know too many people who are outside of the once again, go back and read the book The Millionaire Next Door. The millionaire next door is not the guy you see at the quickie trip in the morning driving the BMW 7 Series. The millionaire next door is the guy who's like 50 years old, drives a beat up F-150 pickup truck, lives in a $100,000 house, and has $5 million in the bank. It's the millionaire next door for the most part are not the people that live in the nice neighborhoods. They're the people that live in the crappy neighborhoods because you'd never know it because they don't leave that lifestyle. Now, there are exceptions. You drive around in Ladue and you see the fancy houses, and some of those people, are multi. Oh, by the way, we got to talk about this. We haven't even talked about this. The Bush thing, the Bush family on the MTV show. You know what I'm talking about?
They're having a reality TV show, aren't they?
Yes. And I have not seen it. And oh my God, there are people reviewing it. Oh man. And let's talk about this next hour. There's a glaring problem with the show, a huge glaring problem, which
it's not set in St. Louis.
No, most of it is shot out in St. Charles County. Most of it's out, on the bush, whatever they call it, the compound on Benny Road out there in St. Charles County off of Double D. That's where Billy Bush lives.
You just sat there and gave out their address, Brad.
Shelley, everybody knows where they live because of the fact that I don't know if they've done it in the last couple of years, but he has a big monstrous charity polo event out there, and it's on his house. It's where he lives. He invites people out to his house for his polo event because that's where.
Is this 4 or Junior?
This is Billy Bush.
Okay.
The crafting guy. But that's what's funny.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And to the point where he recently, within the last couple of years, petitioned St. Charles County to allow him to build a microbrew out on his property out there. It was sort of controversial because the neighbors don't want it because they don't want all the traffic. And he was going to build this microbrew and like a winery, but only a beerery. A beerery, you like that? A beerery.
A beerery.
Yeah. So instead of going out and sitting on the deck at Montel Winery, you're sitting on the deck at the crafting place.
Bush Estate.
The Bush Estate. Yeah. Come on. Like you jumped in my case about giving out where they live. Duh. Everybody knows they live out there.
I didn't know they lived out there.
Well, I just told you, and now you can go out and bother them. You can sit and you can drive out there in Benny and pull into the parking lot and honk your horn.
Yeah, I'll do that. And then all these guards will come whoosh.
Guards?
Because you know that they've got.
I'd be worried about the snipers. 6:32. It's us on the radio, Westplex 107.1. It's Shelley Barr. I'm Shelley. She's Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Where are you? I got to tell you something. Sometimes I'm really embarrassed by my industry. And this happened yesterday and Tuesday, okay? There's a big, very popular radio station in Los Angeles called K-Rock, K-R-O-Q, K-Rock. Been around for a long time. Sort of like a Casey kind of station, big heritage station, and obviously in L.A., rock and roll station, been around. And they've had this morning show for a long time called Kevin and Bean. Kevin Ryder, and I can't remember what the other guy's name. Okay, so last year, Bean, who is interesting, and I didn't know this until recently, he was actually born in England, and he's an English citizen. And I don't know if he ever he came to the United States, and he had a green card and all that kind of good stuff, but I don't know if he ever officially became an American citizen. Well, last year, he sort of decided that he's going to retire, and he wants to move to England. So they decided that, okay, huge popular show, sort of similar to what happened like Phillips and Wall, where one of them left and then, Phillips and Wall left and Phillips continued on as Phillips and Company. So they announced, well, we're not going to get rid of the most popular morning show in Los Angeles. We're going to keep Kevin and we're going to bring in some new people. Okay. So they started this new show as of January 1st. Okay. And it was Kevin, the original from Kevin and Bean, and like 4 or 5 other people on the show. Some of them were new. Some of them were holdovers from the old show. They fired them all Tuesday and Wednesday.
All of them? Even Kevin?
The entire show. Fired every single one of them by calling them on the phone.
So they broke up with them over text message?
Well, no, they didn't. They not over text. They called them on the phone. Said
that was a joke, Brad.
Hey, we hate to tell you this, but we're going to go a different direction, and officially you're terminated. And Kevin actually put this out on his Facebook page. He supposedly went to the radio station and was escorted out of the radio station by 3 armed security guards.
Has that ever happened to you?
No, but think about that. You work someplace for 30 years, okay? And keep in mind, they put this huge advertising blitz on, hey, if you loved Kevin and Bean, you're going to love Kevin and whatever they rename the show, and it doesn't even last 3 months. And bang, they're fired. And to the point where...
Did they give Kevin a severance package?
I don't know. I mean, who knows? They just fired them all. I can tell you, I've told you the story, which to this day still bothers me, and matter of fact, I had several of... excuse me, several of my friends who worked there and it wasn't like somebody told me the story. I'm going like, I don't know if I believe that. I mean, they all told me the same story. So, like when you have like 3 or 4 people tell you the exact same story, it's like, okay, that must have been what really happened. New owner comes into the station, gets on the PA system, and say, everybody please report to the front office.
So they did get a new owner.
No. This is a thing that happened in St. Louis that bothered me years ago. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
New owner buys the station. Won't say what station it is. Tells everybody on the PA. Everybody come up to the front office. I mean, like the reception area. Okay. And the way the studio was, the reception area was up in front, where you walk in the front door. And then you walk down a hall. And then immediately on your right, there was a conference room. And it was a long conference room. And it had one door, on each end of the conference room. So everybody was instructed the entire staff, everybody, even on the air, you were instructed, put some long records on the radio. This is back in the day. And everybody went into the reception area. And then you were told to walk in the one door. And there were people sitting there, and everybody was fired. You walked up to the first person, and they said, I hate to inform you, but your employment has been terminated. The next person would, have the paperwork for you that you would sign off, that, that you've been advised of, the fact that blah, 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 you can get COBRA and all that kind of stuff. And then the third person would give you an official letter stating, you have been terminated and you can reapply for your job, but doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it. And they fired everyone. Every single person. Every single person.
I don't even know what to say about that. I don't.
And once again, it's to the point where it's like, okay. I mean, it's like, have you ever seen the movie Up in the Air?
I have not.
George Clooney. That's the movie that was partly filmed here in St. Louis. There's scenes there from like the Mansion House apartments downtown, and also scenes at Lambert Airport. He works for a company that this is what they do. He flies around all over the country and he fires people. And, he's very, very, systematic about it. Walks in, they have the packets, and it's excuse me. It's one of those movies where it's sort of cringe kind of movie because you're going like, man, been there, done that. I mean, you've seen that happen. And
so who is the heroine of the story?
Well, yeah.
Because if you've got a man like George Clooney, there's a girl involved.
It's what's her name? It's the Cups girl. It's the
Cubs girl.
Cups, Cups. She does the song. She was in Pitch Perfect. What's her name? Anna Kendrick. Okay, Anna Kendrick is. Hold on, now I'm gonna sneeze. Man, I'm a mess this morning. And it's my, you know what it is? You know what that is? It's my stupid allergies because everything's turning green. This is like every year, March and April are murder for me because my stupid allergies. Anyway.
Did you get some Zyrtec?
No, I don't take any drugs. Okay. Anna Kendrick is in the movie, and she is like the newbie. She's the one that George Clooney is supposed to teach how to do this. And she's the one and then they fly around together. And it's an interesting movie. Everybody here in St. Louis, it's going to be nominated for an Academy Award. It was a good movie, but it wasn't that good. And George Clooney plays this guy who essentially is like, he has ice water in his veins. Nothing bothers him. And this is what he does. And he lives his life on a plane. And matter of fact, not as a plot stealer or anything like that, or he gets an award finally. His goal in life is to get the American Airlines Silver Card or something like that, where it's like the 10 million mile club or something like that. And you actually have your own private person that is like your own concierge for the, like when you call this number, it's you. They know it's you because you're the only one that has that number. And you book all these special things. And that's his goal in life, to get that card. And then when he finally gets the card, it's sort of like, You'd have to see the movie. And he falls in love with a woman that he meets on the plane. And then weird things happen because she's not who she says she is.
I'm trying to figure out a word that I want to tell you that it's not plot twist. It's I can't remember what it is, and I was trying to. You didn't finish. Didn't give me enough time to sit there and Google it.
Here, boy, the smartest woman in the world's being nice to me. And I said, I'm a mess this morning. And she said, differ from other mornings when you aren't a mess? Why? And she did send me this about Kevin and Bean. The station's PR ended with, thank you, Kevin and Bean, for 30 entertaining years. 30 years. And keep in mind, like, this is Los Angeles, the number 2, number 3 market, whichever way you look at it. You know, New York's number 1 and goes back and forth between the number 2 market between Chicago and LA. Okay. And the amount of money this station has made through the years with these guys is like, you don't even want to know. It's like probably, I don't know, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, for 30 years, maybe even like $1 billion. I don't know. It's easily hundreds of millions of dollars these guys have made for the station. And, you know, they're just bang, gone, you know? I mean, and one of those things, it's like, I get it that we're in a business where everything is temporary. You know, this station could last, 50 years, or this station could last, 2 more months before we go,
okay.
all
And
polka.
so, like you said, everything is temporary.
Yeah.
So what the country is experiencing right now is temporary.
I get it. But once again, you have to roll with the punches. I mean,
You do, but you also have to be, have some, what's the word? I'm a hot gooey mess today too, because I can't get my words together. But you have to have some type of, take responsibility for your actions, especially when they can affect other people.
I get it.
Oh, and BTW, what you said about the movie, it was a spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert?
Yes.
Oh, that's when you fly your 787, your 787, and you put your spoilers on to slow the plane down and landing. You get the spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
No, it's not.
648. Westplex 107.1, the Dance Monkey song, which Shelley swore up and down she never says Dance Monkey, which technically she never does say Dance Monkey. She just says dance. No, she says monkey.
She did say monkey one time, I still can't. I mean, I heard it the one time, but I've never
It's there.
heard it again.
6:55, foggy morning, rainy day today. It's going to be in the 70s, though, the low 70s. We'll have the complete forecast coming up next hour from our very own meteorologist, and that is Jennifer
Wojcicki.
I have my allergies it's one of those things where, have you noticed, like, one morning you wake up and you look outside and it's like, whoa, it really got greener than yesterday. Yesterday was one of those days for me where when I walked outside, I thought to myself, holy cow, in 24 hours, the grass really got green. Is your grass turning green?
No, but the trees started to bud.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, man, this every year, this is what... Excuse me. This is what kills me, because this is the onset of the pollen season, and it just drives me nuts. I'm going to start here. I got it right here. I got to keep right here. I'm going to just wear my respirator all the time when I'm on the air. You can hear me okay, right?
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Do that.
Yeah, which I talked about yesterday, and I had someone confront me and say, I don't believe what you said. And
I don't believe what you said half the time either. Who was it and what'd they say?
I talked about my respirator and how much the filters for my respirator have gone up, because there's this whole thing, once again.
That doesn't surprise me.
Well, no, but these two guys, they've made national news. These two guys, there's a thing called, what do they call it? Retail arbitrage. You know what arbitrage is? It's a word that was like big you'd heard like in the stock market thing for a while, and then it like disappeared. Essentially, Gary Vaynerchuk is the guy who sort of pushed this thing, because he still does this where if you can see his videos, and they are sort of interesting. He drives around on Saturday to garage sales, and he buys all this stuff on garage sales, and he prides himself in like spending like $1 for like 3 or 4 things, and then he takes those things and puts them on eBay and makes like $200, because of the fact that, and I still can't believe in our modern world, if you've got stuff that you're going to sell, the first thing I do is I look on eBay to see who's selling it and what the price is. And I buy used stuff for the radio station from time to time. And I buy used stuff for my cars from time to time. And, and a lot of times it depends upon, like it happened to me recently. I had a problem with my one car. The wheel bearing went bad and I had to replace the entire, what they call the steering knuckle. And I went online and, they were like $400, $500, $600 brand new. I called up my junkyard buddy, $50. I mean, of course, I went out there, it was dirty, had mud on it, and had to clean it up, do a little bit of work on it. But, once again, anyway, he talks about making all this money and buying things. And there's guys on eBay right now who are making big bucks by buying new shoes. And they go to stores and they buy like new shoes in the box, buy several, sizes, and then turn them around sometimes for 3, 4, 5 times what they paid for.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. People do that all the time.
Okay, so these two guys in Tennessee, either Kentucky or Tennessee, made national news because they went around and they sort of saw what was going to happen with the the coronavirus thing, and they bought up hand sanitizer. They went everywhere and they bought everything. They'd go into a store if there was like 100 bottles of hand sanitizer on this shelf, they'd buy all 100 bottles, and then they turned around and sold it on Amazon and eBay, and they made a lot of money. To the point where Amazon and eBay banned them. And then they got national attention. And, they're terrible people. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I don't think they are.
They're price gouging, Brad.
Shelley?
During a time of peril.
Shelley, every day, you and I get quote-unquote price gouged, okay? I recently, something I bought for one of my cars, okay? I told the story that, and matter of fact, I got them yesterday. One part that I needed for one of my cars, one part when I went to the auto dealership was $110, okay? Online, I bought 6 of them for $27, including shipping. Once again.
Well, that's markup from, because you went to a third party for the 100 and whatever, and then you went on eBay. Did you say eBay?
Yes, I bought them on eBay. And once again, one part, over $100 at the auto dealership. I bought 6 of them online for $28. Okay, so why isn't that auto dealership, shut down? Well, they're price gouging, And once again, I bet you that part cost them to make $3, $4, $5.
But what these men did was similar to coming out and looting.
Oh no! Yeah,
yes.
They didn't steal anything. They paid for it.
I didn't say they stole anything, but
it's not looting.
It's the same premise. You still feel like you've been taken advantage of.
No.
Yes, you do.
No. Okay, let's say you got your dogs, okay, and let's say there's a particular dog collar that's going to make your dog, smell better or whatever the heck it is.
Like behave.
Well, yeah, okay, like you'd make your dog going to behave, okay? And some guy finds some little guy, let's say down in the Ozarks, who makes these special behave dog collars, and he finds out about it, and he goes, and he says to the guy, he says, hey, you make these? Yeah. What do you charge me for? $5 a collar. Okay, fine. And then he puts an ad on our radio station. Hey, I'm Joe the dog guy, and I've got these special dog collars, and they'll make your dog behave. I guarantee it. And they're only $99.95. Okay, you hear that ad, and you go like, oh my God, I want my dog to behave. I'm going to buy that dog collar from that guy for $100.
And that's all fine and good, but this is... The country is in crisis, Brad.
But once again, Shelley.
I mean, look at us. But we formed the WBA, the Wentzville Business Alliance, to help small and medium-sized businesses grow their business, and we gave it at a significantly reduced price, and they get a lot of stuff that comes with that. But we didn't raise our price.
No, I get what you're saying.
We could have raised it to hold on. $600.
I get what you're saying.
It's worth it.
I get what you're saying, but okay, let's turn it around. Okay, let's say I need toilet paper really bad, okay? So, and I go to the store and there's no toilet paper. But there's Joe the toilet paper guy online who's got a website, joethetoiletpaperguy.com, and he's got the same rolls of paper that I could have bought, at Schnucks, 2 months ago for $5. It's now $20, okay? Is he doing me a favor?
No, he's not.
Well, I can't find any toilet paper. So for him, it's $20. I either pay him $20 or I get no toilet paper. So why is
Or
that?
you go buy Kleenex, or you become resourceful, like, I don't know, a washcloth and soap.
Why is he a bad guy?
Because he's taking advantage of a situation that, throughout this whole thing, I think I already said this, but we're going to see the best of humanity and the worst of humanity.
Why are you looking at me when you say the worst?
Well, first of all, I'm not looking at you, nor am I talking about you. But
Maybe you should be.
fall into the best of humanity
Oh my
category,
God,
Brad.
no. Well, we're just trying to, you and me, we're trying to help out people. We started this thing. We'll talk about it a little bit more next hour, although it is next hour. I started this thing, and actually, I had the idea on it for like a couple months back, and I thought, I don't know, and I ran it by a couple people, and I had mixed results. One person thought, stupidest idea I've ever thought. Called the Westplex Business Alliance, and essentially, we're a small business. We own these 3 radio stations. Okay. Most small businesses do not promote themselves, and that's the worst. That's the thing they do the worst. They may be the best electrician or the best plumber, but they're the worst at marketing, and that's why McDonald's is big and Joe's Burger Shack is not, because Joe says, I got the best burgers in all of St. Louis County or St. Charles County, and nobody knows about it. But if Joe would go on the radio and say, hey, I'm Joe from Joe's Burgers, and my burgers are so good, you're not going to believe it. And people go and they go, oh my God, they are the best. And he does really good. Well, anyway, we started this thing called the WBA. You can find it at westplex.biz. And we are trying to promote people's businesses. And quite honestly, at the price that we're charging for it, we're not making any money. We're probably losing money on the deal. But we're trying to essentially create, something where
some type of unity.
When the tough get going, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. That's sort of the philosophy. That we're the ones that are going like, okay, rather than sitting around all day and moan, oh, things are so bad. We're trying to do something. And once again, we've got a little pushback from a couple people who are saying like, this is a stupid idea. You're just trying to rip people off. I'm going like, it's $99 for the year. How am I trying to rip anybody off?
And with everything they get,
right?
It's just it's just part of it,
right?
I mean,
anyway, we'll talk about it next hour.
Yeah.
Remind me, the first thing we'll talk about is this Bush's thing, the Bush's reality show, which
okay.
It's sort of weird. Okay, it's 7:05. Westplex 107.1. Yes, I would be the woman. I would be the woman, yes. And I drive all the nice cars, and I would have people call me up. Hold on a minute, he's got Caleb. I forgot to let the ID play. Are you mad at me, Shelley, because I screwed up?
No.
Okay. Okay. Westplex 107.1, that's us. I'm Brad. She's Shelley. It's BS in the Morning. You can check out our website at bsinthemorning.show. The station website is westplex1071.com. I talked a little bit about this last hour. There's this reality series called The Bush Family Brood, okay? And it's on MTV. Let me see if I can find it again. Where did I do
Is it Brood or Brew?
No, it's called the...
like Family Brood. Okay, yes. I got it.
Billy. Here's the interesting thing. This was a article on Fox News, if you look at the website, just day before yesterday. So it was on Tuesday, March 17th, 2020. Billy and Christy Bush reveal how they're carrying on the family's brewing legacy. Okay, let me read you the first 2 paragraphs. The Bush family is known for its beer brewing legacy. Excuse me. And Billy and Christy Bush have no plans on letting that tradition die. The couple and their 7 kids, who are part of the new MTV reality series, The Bush Family Brood, are ready to expand the alcohol brand with their own brewery. Quote, my dad ran the brewery so I grew up watching him run the brewery and watching him grow it and make it the most successful brewery in the world, Billy told Fox News. So we're continuing that tradition by opening up our own brewery and having our own beer, he added. Okay, keep in mind, this is an article, March 17th, 2020. So it's essentially, today's the 19th? So it's 48 hours old, right?
Right.
BS. Do you know why? You know why this reality show once again talks about
They probably recorded it a year and a half ago.
Yeah, but once again,
that's what they do.
But do you realize what's wrong with that statement? What he said?
What did he say?
He's making his own beer.
Oh. He had his own beer called Billy Beer.
No. It wasn't Billy Beer. That was...
Yes, it was.
No, that wasn't. That was Billy Carter. That was...
Oh.
Billy Beer. He had this thing called Craftig. Don't you remember Craftig?
I know Craftig.
Okay.
It's still around, isn't it?
No, that's the problem. They shut it down last year. They closed it July 11th of last year. So here comes this MTV show, which, depending upon who you listen to, some people say was recorded when the reality TV cameras were around in either 2017 or 2018. Okay, so they open up this. They have this reality show, and in all the shows, it's like a big ad for Craftig beer. They like you see, I've seen little excerpts of it. They're sitting around drinking beer, and everywhere you look, there's cans of Craftig, and there's Craftig stuff on the walls and stuff like that. And once again, this is what I talk about. They talk about the fact that, we're going to build our own brewery. That was the thing. They went to St. Charles County Council. They got approval to build a 20,000 square foot microbrew out on their property out there off of Benny Road. And you said, don't give their address. Well, everybody knows where it's at because of the fact that they had to go through planning and zoning in St. Charles County. And they were going to build this microbrew when they were going to have it almost like a what's the place? Schlafly kind of deal where you go in and, you see them, like the old, I don't know if they reopened it yet, but it's like the old Trailhead. If you went in, you could, in one part of the restaurant, you could see the big old tanks and you could see the guys putting all the junk in the tanks and brewing up the beer and stuff like that. They're going to do the same thing out in St. Charles County. Well, they stopped making the beer. Well, but the crazy thing is, here comes this reality show that they recorded 2 years ago, and even the press releases talk about this was on Fox News, and some people go, oh my God, well that's a problem. It's Fox News, but this was 48 hours ago, and there's quotes in there. So we're continuing the tradition by opening up our own brewery and having our own beer. Well, guess what? It's BS because they're not opening up their own brewery, and their beer's gone. And I'm going like, okay, so here's people who are going to watch this MTV show and go like, wow, that Craftig beer, I can't wait to try some. And you can't because they don't make it anymore. And you know what the crazy thing was? You know where they made it?
Where?
Wisconsin. It wasn't even made locally. It was made in Wisconsin. They had a contract brewing company in Wisconsin make the beer for them. And then they brought it here to St. Louis area. And there's another interview he did. There's where he was on Camo X Radio, and essentially he said they sold it too cheap. It was a premium beer that they sold it too cheap, and that's why they went out of business. They just they couldn't. They were losing money, so they decided, we're going to stop it. So here's the MTV reality show, which shows him and his wife, Christy Bush, Billy and Christy Bush, and their 7 kids, and all the scenes have beer, Craftig beer. They're playing beer pong, and here's Craftig beer, and there's Craftig beer signs everywhere, and it's a brand
product placement,
and it's a brand that doesn't exist anymore. It's like me doing a TV show, going like, hey, I'm a car guy, and let me show you my new car that I bought. I bought a Studebaker. People go like, Studebaker? They haven't made those since like the 50s, or a Hummer. Although the Hummers are coming back. Did you hear that? They're going to bring the Hummer back.
I heard that.
But it's going to be all electric, and it's going to be 1,000 horsepower. 1,000 horsepower electric.
So is Tesla worried?
No, they're not worried. Although I think I would worry with their goofy looking new pickup truck. I mean, I still look at that and go like, okay, I don't get that. That is the stupidest looking thing I've ever seen. And quite honestly, the Tesla cars I think are very cool. The pickup truck looks like
I don't think they look any different than any other car.
No, you got to look at them. They're well, but see, once again, that's one of the things. It's a very sleek looking car, very aerodynamically designed. Whereas the truck looks like something that somebody went out and the model for the truck is you went and you got a circular saw, you got a 4x4, you cut it into a wedge, and you do a little whittling on the edges. Hey, here's the new Tesla truck. It just looks bizarre. Anyway, back.
It does look weird.
Back to the Bush thing. So here's this
Okay.
MTV show that's on MTV, and I guess it's still running. They've got all these episodes shot, and it's promoting something that doesn't even exist anymore, and it's promoting a brewery that they're not even a build. I mean, don't you think that's weird?
So clearly they pre-recorded everything, and they must go, 2 years back.
Yeah, but why would you run it then? Why would you?
If it was dated?
Well, yes. I mean, that, once again, that would be
Yeah, but
like.
nobody knows that. I mean, St. Louis knows that, but
you didn't.
who else would know that?
You didn't know it. You thought it was Billy Beer. It was Billy
I did.
Carter. Billy Beer. I can't believe you said that. Sometimes you say the damnedest things.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, Billy Beer, right? Billy Carter. I remember Frank Opinion telling the story about this. That when Billy Beer came out, if you know the whole story, Jimmy Carter, his brother Billy, who was somewhat of an embarrassment, because he did weird stuff, and
all homes have the black sheep.
so he came out with this beer called Billy Beer. And I remember Frank Opinion telling the story that when they stopped making Billy Beer, he decided it was going to be a huge collector's item. So, I mean, this was like way back when, before, eBay and Craigslist and stuff like that. So in the paper, he sees an ad for a guy who's selling 6-packs of Billy Beer. And I think he talked about that he paid like $100 for a 6-pack of Billy Bear because he thought, oh my God, this is going to be a huge collector's item. So he goes out and he drives this guy's house, gives him $100 and brings this 6-pack of Billy Beer back and sticks it in his basement. And then like 5 or 6 years later, he goes down and where he put it in the basement and the cans have like corroded and the beer is leaking out of the cans.
I don't even know how to. Wow. I mean, I have nothing.
Why? What does that tell you about the beer if like after
Exactly
after 5 years it's corroded through the cans?
I know.
And the beer's leaking out of the
20
cans.
years maybe? Yeah. I mean, we still had Rams, the Rams wrapped bush.
Right.
We still had those in the basement. And they're fine.
Yeah, well, not the Billy Beer,
Not the Billy Beer, that is true.
You think if it corrodes through the cans, what's it do in your gut, right?
Exactly.
You drink that stuff and it's like, oh man, I feel bad. So, yeah. So if you're watching the and supposedly, I've just seen the little trailers of it, and I'm telling you, it's to the point where to me it's like, okay, this is somewhat embarrassing. I mean, I'll say that. I just don't think it paints. It paints, especially in St. Charles County. I think it sort of paints because if you drive down Benny Road, I mean, you really don't know. You don't see. It's not like you see this big monstrous, estate or anything like that. You don't see it, because where they live is way off the road, and I don't know. They have hundreds of acres and they have all sorts of crazy animals and stuff out there. But yet, once again, people are going to look at this and go like, "Oh wow, look at them! They live," and they called it Defiance. And what's interesting is it's not really Defiance. There's a huge area of St. Charles County they call Defiance, and the only reason for that is because that's what your zip code is. But you're really not in Defiance. Defiance is just a little tiny little place right there in 94. When you drive through the two competing bars, or the one bar they call, I guess, the Squirrel Bar. Is it still the Squirrel Bar? You know what I'm talking about?
In Defiance?
Yeah, the two bars. One was
I don't know. One is Terry and Kathy's,
right.
And the other one I don't know.
Right. Well, there was like one was Terry and Kathy's, and one was Bill and Joan or something like that. And the one that was Bill and Joan, they changed. And
Good News Brewery out here in O'Fallon has a location there. Down in Defiance.
Really?
Yeah, they bought that old barbecue place.
That old barbecue place was only there for a year. Before that, it was a hairdresser.
Well, that's what they did.
Wow. Aren't we exciting this morning? Well, you know what?
We are exciting.
I've talked about that crafted beer so much. As soon as I get off the air, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go. I bet you any money. You know what, Shelley? I bet you any money that because I've talked about crafted beer this morning, I bet you everybody has run to the store and bought all the crafted beer. I bet you if I go to the Schnucks store this morning, I bet you crafted beer is not there. It's all gone. I can't find any of it. It's not.
Yeah, that's because the young people have already been to Schnucks and Deerbergs.
Right, and they've already bought all the crafted beer. It's just like all the toilet paper and stuff like that. It's gone. You can't find it on the shelves.
Yes.
You believe me?
No.
You're a smart woman. It is 7:23.
Westplex 107.1. Shelley,
Yes.
you're not going to believe it, but I just got a cease and desist order on that song.
Why? It's a lovely song.
Oh, I just got in trouble for playing that song.
Why?
I'm going to have to answer to an authority today.
And who would that be?
A federal authority. I just got a cease and desist saying that they're monitoring us because they're streaming us. They said I can no longer play that song.
Stop it.
Seriously. You know what the title of the song is?
No.
Sit Next to Me. It violates the 6-foot social spacing ordinance.
Oh, my goodness. Why do you do that to me?
Yeah.
It's like I think you just sit there and you like stay up at night and go, "What? How can I mess with Shelley tomorrow? I know I'll do this and tell this BS story."
Yeah, that song is no longer allowed on the radio because it essentially it promotes sitting close to each other, which is no longer allowed. You can't do that anymore. You can't do that anymore. You can't sit close to anybody. Sit next to me. No, you can't do that.
No, and you can't hug anymore, so I just give jazz hands.
Jazz hands. That's so. Anyway, I just watched. We talked about this last break about the Bush Family Brood, the new reality show that just came out on MTV, and the entire episode. If you want to watch it, season 1, episode 1's up on YouTube. Just go in and just type in, and if you go into YouTube, search like Bush Family Brood, and you'll see a bunch of different promos. But then the entire first episode's there, and once again, I'm going like, okay, I talked about this. I've seen these little excerpts, and I watched like in the songs were playing there. Probably the first 3-4 minutes of the show. Sure enough, he talks about they're building their own brewery, and they're all drinking crafted beer, and the opening scene revolves around him and his wife Christy, and then they have this party, which is their summer, open with summer party, and they're at the lake there out in Defiance, and they're all drinking crafted beer, and there's interviews with him. Oh yeah, well, I got my own beer and going to build our own brewery here, and none of it's happening. I mean, once again, it's to the point where to me, I've like going like, think about it. People are going to watch that, and then like a year from now, a friend of yours is going to come into town and go, "Hey, Shelley, when I'm in St. Louis, can we go out to the Billy Bush Brewery, the Craftig Brewery out there in Defiance?" And you're going to say, "There isn't one." What do you mean there isn't one? I watched the show. I watched the Bush Family Brood. That was recorded 2 years ago, and they shut down the production of that beer, and they're not building the brewery. What? I just saw it. It was just on TV, like in March and April. Yeah, I know. They didn't build it.
I think that they were just trying to give everybody a break from what's really going on in the world.
I don't think that's the case.
You don't think so?
No. Once again, I have a problem that it promotes something that doesn't exist. I mean, that would be like me saying, "Hey, I'm going to build I'm going to build a guy across the river in East St. Louis, with a big croquet mallet, and the guy's going to be 2,000 feet tall, and it's going to look like he's hitting a croquet ball across the river through the arch. I'm going to build that, and then it's all BS. And then I go on a TV. Oh, yeah, I'm a rich guy. I own radio stations, and I'm building this great big guy with a mallet who's going to hit a croquet ball across the river through the arch. And, oh, yeah, we're going to build it. It's going to be done by 2021. And then people show up here in 2021, and they go, "Hey, where's the big guy across the river?" "Oh, we didn't build it."
He's in his van.
He's in his van.
Sometimes I tickle myself.
You watch when you get a chance. Watch the first 5-6 minutes of this.
Okay, well, why do I have to? Because you've already told me everything that's going to happen.
Well, it's when I saw this last week,
you are just a spoiler alert fiend today.
Well, but once again, I mean, what bothers me is that we promote our area, okay? And especially the Westplex area, St. Charles County, St. Peter's, St. Charles, that area, right? Okay, and it's like it would be like me saying, "Hey, I just bought Trailhead Brewery, and I'm going to continue the tradition of Trailhead Brewery." Well, you know what the problem with that is?
It's not Trailhead Brewery anymore.
Yes, somebody else bought it, and it's going to be Schlafly Brewery. And people,
Yeah, that's right.
right. And people are going to be saying, well, no, hold on a minute. I heard that guy on the radio said he bought Trailhead, and he's going to continue the tradition of Trailhead Brewery. And I went there the other day, and it's not Trailhead, it's Schlafly. It's like, okay. So I'm promoting something that doesn't exist.
Yes, you are.
And I'm promoting it on a national scale. And I'm promoting it on a high-profile television network, MTV. And by the way, don't you think MTV was better when they played music videos?
Yes. That's what I grew up on. That's what I know. I don't... they're not a news source.
Well, all the cable TV channels, the History Channel, they don't do anything about history anymore. It's all sorts of weird stuff. I mean, all the channels of like Discovery Channel, it's got that used to be all science-based stuff. Now you got goofy stuff on there like, Pawn Stars and, I think that's on History Channel. Isn't Storage Wars? Storage Wars is on Discovery Channel.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Stuff like that. And it's like, okay, I don't quite get it. Why is it, if it's the History Channel, why are they showing Pawn Stars, stuff like that? I don't know. Don't get it.
I have no idea.
The couple things to talk about. The food ban, inside eating goes into effect tonight, right?
Midnight tonight.
Tonight, okay. Also, which I saw this morning, I thought was a good deal, Governor Parson has signed a special, I don't know if you call it an ordinance or bill or dispensation, whatever, what's the term I want to use? Loosening the rules for commercial truck drivers that they can drive longer hours in Missouri because of the fact that they're needed to deliver product, toilet paper and stuff like that. And they're waiving a lot of the rules on what are the current rules on the number of hours you can drive per day and over, I guess it's like a 7-week period, so the drivers can put in some longer hours to deliver. And you know what? You got to think about that. That's the one thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that so many people, their businesses been closed down. All the restaurant workers who won't have or already don't have a job, all the people who are working like in hair salons and nail salons and places like that nobody's going to because of the fact that, I don't want to go there. But yet there are other people, and as a matter of fact, I heard an ad yesterday, I wish they'd run it on our station, an ad for Schnucks. They're looking for people. They're saying we are hiring immediately.
So is Deerberg, so is Costco's?
Right. They're hiring people immediately. So,
yes.
And Amazon, the same thing. They say that they're right now looking for nationwide. They're looking for 100,000 people nationwide. So it's not like,
and some of it's work from home.
Well, but it's not like everybody and their brother's losing their job. Unfortunately, most people are having it because when you look at the casino industry, shut down. That's all closed. The only people who are working at the security or the security people now and the maintenance people. Other than that, there's nobody at the casinos. All the sports venues. What Ballpark Village, is Ballpark Village open or they shut that down? I guess they shut it down.
They're going to have to shut it down by midnight tonight.
Yeah, but didn't that kick in with the 10 people thing? Because we've had the 10 people rule. I mean, I don't think, Ballpark Village, 10 people in there wouldn't be many. That would be like spit in the ocean,
Yeah, but they're mandating all
I know
restaurants.
I know, but if they have
to close it in their main dining room, to close their main dining room at 12 tonight.
I know that, but once again, if you walk into Ballpark Village, you're not, when you walk in the door, you're not in any place, not any restaurant right there, but would the 10-person rule come into effect? Because, when you walk in there, it's like a big open area. It's like a mall kind of deal, where you walk in and there's all the restaurants around, up and down. But on the main floor, I mean, when you walk in, no? You don't know?
No, I'm still going with I don't care who you are, what business you own. The government has required and has mandated that all inside seating will stop at midnight tonight.
And if your business is affected, this is something that we're doing. We started this, the Westplex Business Alliance. We are trying to help Westplex area businesses. We have a organization, if you want to call it, an alliance we'll call it, and you join for $99. I know people are going, he's making money at this. Listen to what I'm going to say. $99. You get an ad every single day on this radio station I will tweet about you every day. We will promote your business on many different of our social media platforms. We'll talk about you here on the radio. It's $99, not for a day, not for a month, for the year. Do the math. It comes out to what? 30 cents a day or something like that. Plus, we're giving you radio ads and the whole bit. And don't say, well, they're getting rich off of that deal. No, I'm not.
And that's the deal I was talking about. That's what you do. So we could have actually increased that price to like $300 because you've got, $300 or $400 actually, because you've got a lot of stuff that's included in that.
Yeah, but there's some people that would come out and say, well, you should give it away for free. See, that's the problem, is you're going to have those people.
I'm doing Facebook Lives for free to help grow people's businesses. Well, I did it yesterday, I'm doing it today, and I will do it tomorrow as well. If
you want to check it out, westplex.biz. The website's still sort of coming together, so don't criticize me. The website sort of sucks. It does. I agree. It's not 100% yet, but you can still sign up online there, and you can either pay with PayPal or you can send us a check, whatever. But we've got a couple people signed up. We're going to start really jacking that up already. I am really cranking up my own personal social media, and not that I'm like any big social media savant or anything like that, but I've got thousands of people just on my Facebook page. Kelly, you're not Kelly. You're Shelley. Where did Kelly come from?
Hi, I'm Shelley Barr. Yeah. Have we met?
Shelley kids me about the fact that I have friends I don't know I have friends. Matter of fact, I lost Did I tell you about this? Oh, I'll talk about this next break. I posted this thing, which I thought was really funny. I had like 3 or 4 people that sent me nasty notes that they've unfriended me.
Okay.
Unfriended me.
I know that one of them, because I think I know what post you're talking about. I know that one gentleman just said unfriending.
Yes, and he disappeared. He's gone. And I'm going like, man,
Then he blocked you.
Yeah, he blocked me. Yeah, I'm going like, man, are people sensitive?
Unfriending and blocking are 2 different things.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll talk about that next break. 7:44. Okay. Westplex 107.1. What a good song that is. Alicia Keys, Underdog. Something I can identify with personally. 7:51. It is BS in the Morning. I am B. She is S. Our website is bsinthemorning.show. Website for the station is Westplex 107.1. I mentioned that I got in trouble for someone. Not in trouble. I put this post on my Facebook page, and here's the guy that unfriended me. I had several people unfriend me. Won't mention his name, but all he just put was unfriending. And then I sat back to him, sorry to see you go. And then somebody sent to me, must be tough to go through life with no sense of humor. And the other one says, I laugh that he had to announce that his departure. And then someone else said, in one of the groups I'm in, we call that flounce, which we usually mock them. And then if somebody else says, he's just mad because he wasn't going to get that check. Okay, here's what I put on my Facebook page. It was a picture of this guy, and if you know the Seinfeld episode, it's the Soup Nazi episode. You know what I'm talking about, Shelley?
I do.
Everybody knows the Soup Nazi.
No soup for you, no soup for you, no soup for you.
Essentially, if you don't know what it is, once again, the Seinfeld show, which was a show about nothing, they do goofy stuff, and they all talk about how there's this place you go, and it has the world's best soup. But the guy who runs it, they call him the Soup Nazi. And if for some reason he doesn't like you, no soup. No soup for you. That was the running joke. No soup for you. So it's a picture of him, with his finger up, and he's, got his chef garb on. And somebody put a caption on the top. It says, for anyone who's ever said, quote, he's not my president. And at the bottom of the frame, it says, no check for you. Okay, instead of like no soup for you.
Which I thought that was funny.
Well, once again, I think most people did, but a couple people took it as like I was saying something, horrible. And I'm going like, it's a joke. Lighten up. You know what I mean? It's the Soup Nazi guy. How can you take...
Probably because of all the restaurants that are going to be...
No, I don't think it was that. It was one of these deals, because there's a bunch, like if you read...
You've been having a lot of that lately, Brad. Well, you little controversial thing, you disruptor.
Here we go again. Here we go. This is one of the responses on my Facebook page. I'm not going to say the guy's name. I would send my check back if the incompetent and corrupt bastard who led us into this mess resigns. Let this be the last 10 months of his reprehensible administration. Okay, not defending President Trump. Okay?
This is not his fault.
Yeah, once again, it's not like...
It's Mother Nature.
Right. It's not like he went over and like bombed somebody, and like, hey, let's go bomb Yugoslavia again, which country doesn't even exist anymore. And this happened. Okay. This is like, and what's interesting about it is last night I heard one of the quotes from Joe Biden, which was back in January, because if you remember, Trump suspended flights between China and the United States, because when this first started happening in China with the coronavirus in China, in Wuhan, he suspended flights. And Biden came out and said, oh, he's being xenophobic. Because he doesn't like Chinese people. He's using this as an excuse so the Chinese people can't come to the United States. And what's wrong with Chinese people in the United States? Hey, they got the virus. That's what's wrong. And he suspended the flights. And now you look back and like, okay, Joe Biden sort of stuck his foot in his mouth because of the fact that was one of those things that, once again, and what I've said all along, and I've had people who've called me all sorts of names, about the southern border thing. How do you know the diseases these people bring in? Because they're coming from countries where there are no vaccines. There's no medical care. They're coming through Mexico, which, once again, Mexico has got its good points, but it's not the kind of place that you would put as like being like, super clean and great health care. I mean, you
can't even drink the water.
Right. I mean, hey, thank you so much, Shelley. If you go to Mexico and you drink the water, guess what? You get sick. So, I mean, not everybody, but some people do. So once again, it's one of those things that's like, okay, isn't it sort of obvious that these people coming in, to our country who we have no idea, first off, A, who they are, B, where they've been, C, what diseases they have. I talked about this the other day, that way back when I got married, right before we got married, you used to have to take a blood test to get married.
Yes, you did.
You couldn't get married unless you had a blood test because they were checking you for diseases and things like that. Imagine that. Imagine if that law were in effect today. Well, you can't get a marriage license until your blood test comes back. People go, what? You want my blood for they get married? And the reason for that was to try to cut down on communicable diseases. They were essentially checking you for, diseases. And yeah, quite honestly, they were checking you for venereal diseases. If you got married, then, you know what happens. Honeymoon, all that kind of stuff. But that's gone, I mean, and once again, it's to the point where it's like, there's ever a time when we needed to sort of, kick back. And what have I been putting on my Facebook page last couple of days? I put the howdy doody face in there. And I said, essentially, hey, smile. And then yesterday I put Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood on there where, the classic opening scene where he comes through the door and he's smiling.
Won't you be my neighbor?
And he's singing and he puts his jacket in the closet, on a hanger. Thinking to myself, I can't remember the last
And he
year.
ties his shoes, has nice socks.
Right. And it's just like nice, hey, you know what? Things are sort of screwed up right now, but smile. Here's Mr. Rogers, who embodies, hey, things are going to be great. Don't worry. Be happy. I played the song this morning. Remember, I played,
yes, you did.
Happy song. I'm trying my best, and quite honestly, hey, I'm a guy who owns 3 radio stations, right? Do we have people knocking down our doors to advertise since like the last couple of weeks or so, Shelley?
No.
Do we have, am I having trouble, of taking my wheelbarrows full of cash to the bank, because I can only take my money through the drive-through now? Do I have problems stuffing all those $100 bills into that little tube to send inside from my bank account?
Well, you don't have wheelbarrows of cash.
I don't have any
and
cash.
That would be a hard no.
Did I order my new Ferrari?
A new Ferrari.
Am I bragging?
Aren't they low to the ground?
Am I bragging about how I'm fixing my car? I'm putting parts in my car to, hopefully it'll hit 300,000 miles. I mean, once again, the business we're in ain't the business, you want to get into nowadays to get rich, because it's a tough business. But yet we are doing our darndest to try to help people. And one thing to maybe say, about you and me on the air saying goofy stuff, making fun of the Bush family about they're promoting crafting beer, which doesn't exist anymore. And they're promoting a brewery that they're building, which is not going to be built. It's goofy stuff, right?
That's what we strive.
Oh, you just disappeared.
BS out there.
Oh, you disappeared for a minute. What'd you say again?
I said that's what we try to do is make people happy and smile and shovel a lot of BS out there.
And I mean, I say serious things like, Shelley, smells like up dog. You smell that? Up dog.
Man joke. Oh, just so you know, so the Western,
No,
the Westplex Business Alliance.
Hold on a minute. You got to pay people make smile. You got to play along with me. Shelley.
Oh,
smells like up dog. What is that?
What's up, dog?
Hey, nothing, dog. What's up with you?
Well, just so you know, I actually got one the other day because I sent the information that we need for the Westplex Business Alliance.
Yeah.
And because we really do get a lot of things for your $99. And we do need some requirements, pictures, links, that kind of thing.
Because we're trying to promote people's businesses.
We're doing it digitally as opposed to radio. But anyway, the last thing on the list was Matababy.
Did I put that on there?
Yep.
Did I really? I really did?
Matababy.
What's the matter, baby? What's the matter,
I go, nothing, baby. What's the matter with you? I got to do that.
It's stupid stuff that, once again, let's not take ourselves too seriously. You know what I mean? Yes, I know there's people who are sick. I know there are people that are dying. I know that, that there are people that are, and quite honestly, I'm an American and proud of the fact that I have certain freedoms, okay? But over the last week, a lot of my freedoms have been taken away. I can't go here, there, and a lot of places. And I know people are going to say, oh, big tough deal, you can't go to the casino. Okay, you know what?
It's a pandemic, Brad.
Yeah, but still, what I'm saying is that, do you think I'm a happy guy right now? Do you think I'm happy? I'm got my smiley face on today. No. It sort of sucks, but you know what? We're going to pull through.
It does suck, and it sucks for everybody because everybody is going through this.
Not everybody.
We're all doing this together.
Not everybody.
And it's a day by day, minute by minute situation that we all just have to ride the storm.
Like the Doors?
Yes, like the Doors.
Okay. 801. Well, that's going to do it for us, BS in the Morning. We are done. And before we leave, not to sound like we're just giving nothing but plugs to try to help us make money and, do that kind of stuff. We've put a couple new sites up, and there's a lot of information on these sites. Westplex.news, which essentially is news from the Westplex. We just added, hopefully we had a couple issues there with yesterday, but we just added Wentzville on there yesterday. Right now, you can go there and you can find out information from St. Charles County. Their official press releases and news items are automatically posted on Westplex.news. St. Charles City. We have also a couple other different news information sources on there. If you also want to check out our other new website, westplex.video, that is featuring some of our advertisers' videos. There's 3 of them on there, but right below that, it's a constant updated feed of all the news feeds from the local TV stations. It's all the stuff, and it's all the videos they put up on YouTube, and you can watch it and sort of keep up to date on what's going on. And we talked about the organization that we started called the Westplex Business Alliance. That's westplex.biz. We are offering an incredible deal to promote your business. And once again, it's $99 for the entire year, okay? Which comes down to what we figure. How many cents per day?
30, 25, 30.
I mean, it's that. Here, let me get my calculator here.
That's what you said.
Yeah, but I was just spitballing that. I didn't really. Okay, let's do 99 divided by 365. 27 cents a day. 27 cents a day is what it costs you to join the Westplex Business Alliance. Is it like a chamber? Sorta. Is it like an organization? Kinda. Essentially, what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people by marketing and advertising their businesses. And we're doing it in a very cheap way, Cheap for you, meaning it doesn't cost you much. Not cheap in that you don't get a lot, because you do get a lot. Already the people who've signed up, they're already getting mentions today. Like, for example, Caleb, who is one of our charter members, Caleb Extreme Electrical. He's a guy that if you're having problems with your electrical system at your home or your office, you can't say, well, I'll wait till till things calm down. No, if your circuit breaker box is smoking, you need to call Caleb right away. And he's still in business, very much so, taking care of people, still doing new jobs. But at the same point in time, if you have issues that you need to have fixed in your home, your office, he's a guy. He gets it. Well, who else you sign up yesterday?
Tara Kuhn with Not Jaded Boutique in Wentzville.
She's open for business, and you're more than happy to go in there, and we'll be telling you more about her.
She is doing, this is her last day serving, because she serves lunch, but she's got this lovely little boutique in there.
Right.
And so what she's going to do is if you want something to eat, you can order online or come in and order, and then she can give it to you to go. But the boutique is what you really want to sit there and just look for it. I did a Facebook Live with her yesterday, and you can see what a doll she is, how much love she puts into her shop, and everything is handpicked by her.
And she is joined the Westplex Business Alliance, and we will do our best to promote the daylights out of her. And you signed up one more other person, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, Brian Nolan with Friendship Brewery.
Right. Once again, they're very much in business, and these are the kind of people that you need to, it's the small business people, because and I'm not making fun of anybody, but that Boeing, who is a big employer in our area, you know what? They're not going anywhere. They're important to the government, so they're going to get bailed out. But the people down the street from you, the local guy that owns a restaurant or whatever the heck the guys and gals own, those are the people who are at most at risk of losing it all, because all of a sudden business is chugging along. And keep in mind, this is what's sort of bad about this is, and from business cycles, we're in first quarter right now, okay? And first quarter will end as of April 1st, and then we get in the second quarter. Traditionally in business, everything's slow for businesses in first quarter. Well, now things are incredibly slow or non-existent, and we move into second quarter when a lot of people typically come out of hibernation, especially when, the weather's been nice. It's going to be 71 today. And this is when people start to get out. They start to, spend some money, work on their house, hire somebody to paint their house like HBP, somebody like that. Guess what? A lot of people are going, oh, not going to do that. I had someone say to me yesterday that they ordered something new. I won't say what it is. And they essentially said to me it was for their house. And they said, if I would have known this was going to happen, I wouldn't have ordered it. And I'm going like, wow, that's sad. But that's the mentality. I've been through this before. I went through this in 2008, 2009. I went through this owning a radio station back in 2001. I'll never forget my day. My Karen, who I hired as my first salesperson. Her first day was September 11th, 2001. And I was sitting there training her how to use the computer system as the planes were hitting the World Trade Center. And as of about 11 o'clock that morning, she looked at me and she said, I think I picked a bad day to start a sales job. And it turned out that it was bad, but we pulled through and she ended up making a lot of money. But that's a whole nother story. So just suck it up, move on down the road, check out our web pages, see what we're doing, check out KSOQ.com, check out Westplex 1071, check out bsinthemorning.show, check out Westplex.video, Westplex.news, Westplex.biz. We are trying to promote, the business, and it's more than just our radio station here. We do all sorts of stuff, and quite honestly, I'm proud of the fact that we do a tremendous amount of digital. And yet, I still get these knuckleheads that go, nobody listens to radio anymore.
Which is so not true. I mean, statistics say that
92% of American population, and I read something just yesterday that talked about this is a sad thing for the radio, that there are more people right now than ever listening to radio because they're listening for updates, they're listening for news things, and quite honestly, they may not be working anymore, so they're hanging out at their house listening to the radio, right? Are there
Pretty much.
There's streaming shows, or when I get the BS in the Morning show all chopped up, and it'll be on our podcast. And by the way, I took care of Podcaster. By the way,
I'm sorry.
remember Podcaster? You know what I'm talking about?
Did you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thought I screwed up on that, but I didn't. So it's
Good.
It's
Yay.
You know what I'm talking about. So
I do.
It's back in business. Okay, so
everybody, it's 8:10 in the morning. I know we're all going through something. Everybody is, and they're dealing with it their own way. Just know that this too shall pass, and just take a breath.
and you have to understand that things still continue. Like, for example, people still are having anniversaries, and people are still having birthdays.
They are.
Christy and Joe
My
Horton,
gift
9th
certificate.
anniversary, and Hugh Janus turning 10.
And then, like, for example, I read on Facebook that there was a person that really talked about this, and I really didn't think about it, but beauticians and your nails people, they aren't going to, they're still going to be working, but it's not going to be, they may all be shut down.
Yeah.
And so these are all independent local people that are in your community. So stop by there. If you don't have time for a mani-pedi, buy a gift certificate and pay for it for your next one. I mean, do something and help.
And think about this.
And be a good human. Don't be a butt.
Because even if you,
I got bronchitis.
with radio, you don't have to talk. You can just listen.
That's true. Unless you come to my office, then you have to talk. But
there,
that's a whole other story.
There is one
So
sad...
again, be a good human, everyone, and let's see the best of humanity during this crisis. And it's 8:12. You have anything else, Brad?
That's it.
So the most important man in St. Charles County steps up to the microphone and says,
And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again.
wow. And that man almost won. He's one of the top runners in the presidential Democratic debate. What are you laughing at?
He's it now.
Oh, is he it now?
Oh yeah. Pretty much. I keep hitting the microphone with my headphones. Yeah, he's pretty much it. I mean, I think Bernie's gone.
So Bernie's gone?
And you know what the crazy thing about that is that Bernie,
Bernie himself?
No, that Bernie has all these young people to support him, but nobody voted for him. I mean, I saw a thing the other day to talk about these people that, they went and re-interviewed people who were Bernie supporters, youngers, millennials, and like my one son. But my son did vote. He went and voted for Bernie. I went and voted for Tulsi.
I voted for Tulsi.
She got 1% in Illinois Tuesday. Did you know that?
I'm sorry?
She got 1%.
Well, it's better than no percent.
It's more than you and I got, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
that is true.
Now, the most important man in St. Charles County, especially if you're having electrical problems and there's smoke coming out of your circuit breaker box, which I hope that's not the case. But and not only that, he'll come in and take a look at your circuit breaker box to make sure that the smoke won't come out of it, because they do a lot of preventive maintenance stuff. The most important man in St. Charles County steps up to the microphone and says,
"Hey, people, your mom called. Extreme Electrical for your residential, commercial, or industrial needs. Give us a call, 636-925-2988, or on the web at extremeelectricalstl.com.
K296 HA Washington, RAP Washington.
Westplex 1071. It's today's best